Okay guys, we have to talk. 2 weeks ago, I told you guys if you would support the new revamped COD History Sunday Top 10 that I would keep doing it. I said if you kept your deal, I would keep my deal. And I'm shocked, okay? I'm shocked because you guys have blown it up. The last two videos are doing amazing. Thank you so much. If you're new to this series or you remember the old series, this time we're going through all the Call of Duty COD History Top 10s, but we're doing my personal list, which people have asked me to do for a long, long time. Instead of community driven, these are my list. And today we are going to go over my list of the biggest COD mistakes ever. And in the comment section, really quick, let me know what you think is going to be number one. And if you guys enjoyed this series, smash that like button. Let's see if we can hit a sexy 4,000 likes. I know, that's a pretty tall task, but let's give it a go. Now, Call of Duty is without a doubt one of the most successful franchises in gaming history. Everybody will agree with that. But it seems that even with the worst games in the series, Activision, well, they make money every single year, right? That's not to say that the series is perfect, my friends. That's what we're going to dive into. We're going to go through 10 of the biggest mistakes in COD history. I'm running a huge Fortnite 15,000 V-Bucks giveaway the entire month. All you have to do to enter is like this video, be subscribed to the channel, turn on your notifications, and leave me a comment why you want to win with your Twitter handle attached. The winner will be picked at the end of the month. Let's kick this thing off with bundling Modern Warfare Remastered with Infinite Warfare. This is something I was personally super upset about, and honestly, I'm still a little bit peeved about it to this day. Modern Warfare Remastered was supposed to be the game that just revitalized Call of Duty, brought back the old fans, brought them to the series, and while the game itself was great, the way it was distributed ended up killing it and making it extremely difficult for anybody to be really excited about it. In order to get your hands on this COD 4, you would have to drop a minimum of $80 in order to buy the deluxe edition of Infinite Warfare, which to me, that's anti-consumer. If Activision had just sold Modern Warfare Remastered separately, it could have been one of the biggest games of the year and still be populated to this day. But unfortunately, business is business, I guess, and the game wasn't exactly successful as many of us were hoping, but there was other causes to that as well. Promises that weren't kept when it came to in-game content. At number 9, and I think this is divided right down the line, so I need to know which side of the fence you're on. Cutting the campaign from Black Ops 4. It's one of the bigger controversies in COD. And while I do think Black Ops 4 will make up for cutting the campaign, there's no denying that Activision probably shouldn't have let this happen because it had a pretty negative impact on the game's public reputation as a whole. For BO4, Activision and Treyarch decided to go all in on multiplayer zombies in the Blackout mode and no traditional campaign, but this didn't sit well with fans of the series due to the fact that the game was still being sold for $60, and some people considered it with less content even though you get the Blackout mode. Like I said, I think Black Ops 4 will make up for it with the content that's included, but there's no denying that Activision probably could have gone about this game's promotion a tad bit better for the sake of public image. At number 8, not going back in time earlier. This is another thing that I think Activision has made up for, but it was still a huge mistake. Everyone knows that people waited a long time for Call of Duty to go back to its roots, and if you ask me, we waited way longer than we should have. At the time that people were begging for World War II COD game, Activision was pushing forward more into the future with Black Ops 3 and then Infinite Warfare, and now we're going back to the future again with Black Ops 4. Now, I'm glad Activision finally saw the demand for the proper World War II COD game, but the problem is it took way too long to get it here, and the game we got as a return wasn't that great of a game at all. And I understand the 3-year cycle makes it super tricky to predict what you're supposed to make, but you have to listen to the community immediately. At number 7, zombies. Now, before you dislike the video, hold on. Let me explain. I don't think zombies mode is a mistake at all. I love zombies as a casual zombie player. However, I think the amount of zombies that we've gotten over the years was a mistake. Think about it. Before zombies were an expected part of every COD game, we had a lot of variety in that third mode slot for each new game. We had survival mode, we had spec ops, we had extinction, so on and so forth. However, somewhere along the line, Activision decided that every Call of Duty game needed to have zombies as a third mode, and while that definitely made the zombie fans happy, it meant that a lot of the other COD players were left in the dust because they would never get to play any of these modes again. Now, I think the series was at its best when Treyarch was the only one doing zombies and the other two studios were doing their own thing and being creative with a third mode. But hey, maybe that's just me. I would love to see other random modes back to the future of COD or maybe something totally new. But unfortunately, I don't think that's going to happen because zombies has just become too large of a part of the formula. If it was up to me, I would leave zombies strictly to Treyarch, and I would let Sledgehammer and I would let Infinity Ward try different things. That's just my opinion. You guys let me know if you agree or disagree. At number 6, DLC weapons. Now this one is just lame, and I don't think anybody will disagree with me on this point. DLC weapons first appeared in Black Ops 2 and Ghost very sparingly, but they hit critical mass starting with Advanced Warfare and then extending into BO3, Infinite Warfare, Modern Warfare Remastered, and World War II. You guys remember when developers didn't hold parts of the game hostage as a way to get you to keep playing their game? Does anybody remember that? I know DLC weapons were never actually going away because they're just way too successful for all developing studios and publishers, but they can still be lame if they're not done right. The developers need to start having faith in people just playing their games instead of periodically releasing weapons in order to keep people interested in the game. I remember when COD games used to be good enough for people to just keep playing them for months and months after release, and Activision didn't have to resort to tactics like DLC weapons in order to keep player counts up. But then, I guess we could argue the other side of the fact and say when you've played so many of the same arcade shooters, maybe you need something fresh. Cracking into the top 5, how about a little SBMM? For those that don't know, that is skill-based matchmaking. It has been a conspiracy theory ever since it was introduced in Advanced Warfare. Part of what makes COD so fun is the randomness of it when you're playing pubs. However, when skill-based matchmaking was introduced, it not only killed that aspect of the game, but it also made a game that was a lot less fun since all the lobbies were super sweaty and often one-sided. Now, given the nature of COD as a game, it's really difficult to make a system that matches people's skill levels together because of how weird COD is when you look at it from a statistical standpoint. You've got KD ratio, score per minute, you've got players who are great players but awful at the objective, you've got awesome objective players who don't slay out much. You guys see what I'm saying here. All those random aspects put together in skill-based matchmaking made for an experience that sucked. Now let's hope that this does not come back in BO4. Keep skill-based matchmaking for the ranked playlist and keep the public matches random and casual the way they should be. It's kind of a, you work your way up. I mean, one of the fun things about getting into a lobby in COD is just pub stomping and just destroying noobs. And we were all noobs at one time. We had to earn kind of our badges of honor, if you will. It should be how it is. At number 4, semi-automatic and automatic shotguns. It's seriously. Why are they still in the game? How many more years of obnoxious shotgun spam do we need to endure before Activision makes the decision to blanket cut these types of games these types of guns from the game? Every single new Call of Duty has some kind of semi-auto or fully auto shotgun that people love to spam, and they are always overpowered in some way because it's simply not possible to balance a gun like this in a game of Call of Duty. In BO3, it was the Brecci. In Infinite Warfare, it was the Reaver. In World War II, it was the toggle action. What is it going to be in Black Ops 4? Now, I haven't seen really good shotgun yet in there, so we'll see. I don't know, but I do know for a fact that there are going to be tons of people spamming it once they find it. Seriously, automatic and semi-auto shotguns need to go. At number 3, please don't ever bring this back. Divisions and basic training. This was a system that was introduced in COD World War II that seemed like it would be cool at first, but it ended up being part of the downfall of the game. As opposed to the 3-perk system that has been in every single Call of Duty game since 2007, COD World War II decided to go with only one perk called a basic training and then have the player pick of the divisions, which each one came with 4 built-in perks that you would have to unlock through leveling, essentially giving every player 5 perks instead of 3. But the problem was that it gave the player way less options for customization, and for a long time it was totally unbalanced. Plus, things only got worse as time went on, and Sledgehammer continued to add more and more divisions and basic trainings to the game, and I do agree that the game is in a much better place now than when it launched, which should never be the case, but it is with every game. And the divisions and basic trainings, they weren't a good idea. And if you ask me, there shouldn't be any divisions in World War II. And Sledgehammer, they should have taken all the division abilities and made them into perks for a traditional 3-perk system. And I get it. Sledgehammer likes to innovate. They brought us exosuits. They tried divisions. It just doesn't work with COD. Speaking of Sledgehammer, and I'm not trying to just go at them, but support streaks. I want to know who the troll was that let this system through back in the Modern Warfare 3 days. In case you weren't around during Modern Warfare 3, This was the first game to introduce us to support streaks, were this special kind of kill streak setup in which your streaks didn't reset upon death, but in exchange, you could only run non-lethal streaks like UAVs, EMPs, etc. However, there was a catch to this system. It was the fact that the freaking stealth bomber was in the support streak category, meaning the worst player in the lobby or the worst player in COD history could still call in one of the strongest kills in the game, one of the strongest streaks. The no-skill multi-kill. The support stealth streak bombers became such an annoyance in the COD community that they'll be remembered forever. I like the idea of having support streaks because it means the less skilled players can help out the team objectively, but I have no idea whose idea it was to put lethals in that category. And at number 1 today, guys, jetpacks, and I'm sure you all expected this to be number 1 on the list. Call of Duty was a huge franchise for years and years and years, but things only started to go downhill in the sales department when they added in more and more futuristic elements, and the series hit an all-time low with Infinite Warfare. COD could have saved itself a lot of frustration and lost sales if it would just never gone so far into the future that jetpacks and wall running were part of it, but unfortunately, we had to endure 3 whole games worth of it, and that ended up hurting the franchise a lot more than it helped it. So let's hope we never go back to this era again, or at least we don't go back until we have a few more proper COD games to make up for it. There you go, guys. Those are my personal list of the 10 biggest COD mistakes, and there's more. Trust me, One Man Army, Last Stand, there's a lot of them, but I wanted to kind of do some different ones for you guys. Let me know where you agree and disagree. Thank you for all the support on this series. Drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, turn on those notifications, and I'll see you soon.